Hey, John Mayfield with Global Real Estate School have a math problem for you, and you could very well see one of these math problems on your real estate exam. Well, I have the iPad fired up and we have the question in front of you. It's entitled A Discount Point Problem, which is wanting you to compute the following. Falk buys a home for $80,000 and obtains a 95% loan value ratio, loan to value, or what we call LTV. If the lender charges 2.5 discount points on this loan, how much will Falk be out of pocket on the day of closing? Now, there's a couple of things you've got to remember here. Remember that discount points are always calculated on what? Well, they're calculated on the loan amount. So don't forget that. They want to try to get you to use the sales price, but you always want to figure discount points on the loan amount. The other thing that's important to remember is one discount point is equal to 1% of the loan amount. Very, very important. Now, a discount point is prepaid interest. It increases the lender's yield on the loan. And I have a couple of videos where I talk about that on my YouTube channel. I'll try to make sure that I link to one of those at the end of this video. But a discount point basically just helps the lender earn more money. Okay? You get a $100,000 loan. The lender charges you one discount point. That's $1,000. $100,000 loan amount, 1% is $1,000. The lender's just making an extra $1,000 off of you. I mean, it's really more than that. It's a little more complicated, but I just want to try to give it to you in very simple terms. The discount points help the lender earn more money off of your loan, okay? So they give you $100,000, you give them $1,000 back, and they really are only out of pocket $99,000, but you're paying them back based on a $100,000 loan. So they're making more money when they charge discount points. And the key point to remember is that one discount point is equal to 1% of the loan amount. So let's take a look at this question here. If Falk buys a home for $80,000 and gets a 95% loan to value ratio. So there's a couple of things we've got to do here. We have to figure out what is the loan amount, because as I'm erasing here, discount points are calculated on the loan amount, not the sales price. Okay? So if Falk is buying a home for $80,000, probably need to update some of my math problems to reflect current market values. Remember, we have part, total, percent. Well, we know what the percent is, don't we? It's 0.95. 95%. And John always tells you to do what? I tell you to move that decimal over 2 points. So 0.95. The question then becomes, what is this 80,000? Does it go in the part or does it go in the total? Well, we're trying to find out the loan amount. This is the sales price. Would the sales price be bigger than the loan amount? Absolutely, because this is part, or what I like to remind you, the smaller number, and this is total, which is the bigger number. So kind of just trying to keep it in simplistic terms. So 80,000 will go down here. It's the bigger number. It's the total, and we're trying to solve for the loan amount. So in this case, our math tells us to do what? Tells us to multiply, because anytime you have one the both items on the bottom, the math tells you to multiply. And by the way, just remember, they're always going to give you two of the variables in the problem, and you're solving for the third one. A lot of times they like for you to work it too deep, or two of these T problems. So don't let that discourage you or get you kind of off track. But I have plenty of math problems where I go through those too deep. So check those out on the YouTube channel. So to find the loan amount, you just take 80,000, multiply it, because that's what our math tells us to do, times 0.95. So when I take 80,000 and I multiply that times 0.95, I get $76,000, which is the loan amount. Now we're going to work another T problem, because the lender's charging 2.5 discount points. Always put your math on there. 2.5%. Or if we move the decimal over, we got to add a 0 out there. So it's going to be 0.025. That's our percent, right? Now, what's total? What's part? Well, in this case, part is going to be, what are the discount points? So that's what we're solving for. The total would be the loan amount. It's a bigger number, right? And the loan amount was how much? $76,000. So let's put $76,000 in here. And our math tells us to do what? Tells us to multiply, because we have both of the bottom numbers. So 76,000 times 0.025 equals $1,900. That will be your discount points. That will also be, can almost guarantee you, answer A, $1,900. And there will be a lot of people, a lot of students taking the test who will answer A and say, I got that right. Wow, that was really easy. And they'll go on to the next question. And when the computer checks the answer, it will mark that wrong, because the question wanted to know, how much will Falk be out of pocket on the day of closing? Well, if you're buying a home for $80,000 and you're getting a $76,000 loan, let's just go back and double check here. Buying a home for $80,000, 95% loan to value, which we came up with $76,000. So when you subtract $76,000, Falk needs to come up with $4,000, plus Falk will also need the discount points of $1,900. So Falk on the day of closing will be out $5,900. Don't forget that. I'm going to go out here to I hope my camera will see if I don't think it'll come on, because I don't think I have it plugged in. But what I want you to know is that they may also throw some closing cost into this problem. And if they do add some closing cost, be sure and include that, because Falk will be out closing cost on the day of closing, their down payment, and their discount points. And a lot of times I see these questions worded where it says, how much will Falk have to bring to closing? Well, in our example, Falk's going to need to bring $5,900. on the day of closing. Now, one last suggestion I would just remind you, and I did not do that on this video, but be sure and double check everything. You know, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take 80,000 times 0.95. That's 76,000 times 0.025 is $1,900. So always double check your math, but don't fall for that stink bait. That's what I call it, because you'll miss it. It's wrong. The correct answer would be Falk is going to be out $4,000 for their down payment on the day of closing, plus Falk needs to come up with 1,900 in discount points. And so the correct answer might be C or D, which is 5,900. And those of you who want to pass a real estate exam, you will say, thank you, John Mayfield and Global Real Estate School, because you tipped me off on that stink bait, and I'm not going to take it. Hey, as always, thanks for watching this video on Global Real Estate School's YouTube channel. I'm going to put this video in my student portal so that my students get to watch this as well. So you're probably watching this right now as you go through the course. And I want to remind you to go over to my YouTube channel as well, because there's lots of great videos there where I cover lots of information. And hey, be sure and subscribe and tell others about globalrealestateschool.com. So thanks for watching. Now you know how to solve this type of problem for your real estate examination.